Oh man, Bitcoin will die. This is the latest statement from a Bitcoin fudder. Who could it be? Could it be BlackRock? Could it be JP Morgan? Maybe the SEC and Gary Gensler? No. This time it's come from a crypto ally, Charles Hoskinson, the founder and one of the head guys over at Cardano. This is a guy I've actually quite admired. I feel like he's done a great job over at Cardano, but we're going to have to listen and respond in kind to his latest comments with Cointelegraph. Let's take a listen.
Bitcoin needs the industry to survive. It sure as hell needs the exchanges and all the other infrastructure because it's not self-sufficient in that dimension. But the industry doesn't need Bitcoin anymore to survive. It's nice to have a digital asset like Bitcoin that has that reputation and it's digital gold, but remember at the end of the day, it's a token with a deflationary monetary policy. And so at any given moment, another digital gold can form, and if it has good science behind it, it'll be just as secure, if not more so.
Whoa, Charles. What are we on about here? What are we on about here? Another one could just spin up. If that was the case, why is there not another Bitcoin since 2008? Why do we not have another one? Surely you'd want to create another one where you've got an asset which is sitting at over $1 trillion. Wouldn't there be another one spun up? No, but we don't have one. What's happened to all the forks? Bitcoin Single Vision, Bitcoin Cash. There's only one Bitcoin, and I think we understand that. So for you, who runs Cardano, which by the way, I hold Cardano, right? I hold Cardano. I want it to succeed. But for you, who built a project in Cardano, you've also left Ethereum to go build that project. You are standing on the shoulders of the giant that is Bitcoin. The reason Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, everybody else exists is because of what Satoshi did and what Bitcoin has done, which is show the road to success. Now, I'm an investor who holds altcoins, but at the same time, I'm not going to forget the fact that Bitcoin is the reason why we're all here today. So for you to just say it's going to wither and die away because somebody can just spin up another Bitcoin, I think that's misspeak.
You know, that's why we spent, in a science-based approach with Cardano, 7 years designing a proof-of-stake protocol. You know, from the GKL model to Ouroboros Classic, to Krause, to Genesis, and everything that came afterwards, is that we thought a lot as an ecosystem about how do you build a secure consensus protocol that's energy efficient, but also has all the properties that Bitcoin has. And we were very rigorous with this. And the response to the Bitcoin ecosystem was, oh, it's a scam, it doesn't exist, that technology can't exist, and it's perpetual motion, and proof of stake is wrong. Okay, I just don't see how that survives. It's a religion, it's not an ecosystem. So
hold up, do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out, link is in the description. Whoa, it's a religion, not an ecosystem. Shots fired, right? Look, let's face it. There are other platforms which are innovating far quicker than Bitcoin. Of course, we've got the Lightning Network. We've got innovation happening on Bitcoin in terms of ordinals. We spoke about all that stuff, BRC20 token standard. There's stuff going on with Bitcoin. But agreed that the innovation compared to a platform like Ethereum is not the same, right? But even then, you've got Ethereum layer 2s, which, you know, many people are saying, look, Ethereum was struggling to scale. You've got layer 2s. There's innovation happening. But for you to claim that that's the only reason that Bitcoin's going to die is the fact that they're not innovating doesn't make sense, right? Particularly when there's other layer 1 solutions far newer than Cardano, which, let's face it, have already innovated a lot more than Cardano. Now, of course, we know that Cardano want to go the whole peer-reviewed research, slow pace, like he's just said there. We spent 6-7 years working on this technology. But who's to say that the slowest is the one to always survive as well, right? Let's just carry on listening to what he has to say.
No, we don't necessarily need Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to have to grow and adapt and change if it wants to survive long term, you know? Interesting. Plenty of people with first mover advantage thought they were invincible. Microsoft did with Windows. And what happened is they never lost Windows, but then we changed the paradigm. People stopped caring about the desktop, and now we all have cell phones and tablets, and look at Android and iOS versus Windows, the adoption rates. And in a lot of app developers, Windows last. It used to be that if you weren't on Windows, your business would die. Now,
I mean, to use that example of companies and first mover advantage, I think he's fundamentally misunderstanding. Bitcoin is a watershed moment. It's like saying, you know, why has gold not innovated? Because gold is not supposed to innovate. Why is the US dollar not innovated? Not supposed to innovate. So it's a bit of a silly argument in that he's not understanding that the very strength of Bitcoin is the fact that it is immutable, it is permissionless. Nobody is needing to innovate on it because it's a technology which does what it says on the tin. It does the same today as it was supposed to do in the white paper in 2008, and despite many people having tried to bring it down, you best believe governments and agents are trying to bring it down, they've not managed to. So why are we talking about innovation? Ethereum, Cardano, all these layer 1 solutions, Solana can come and bring the innovation, but you've seen the failings when they do so. You've seen the catastrophic failings. You've seen the hacks on bridges. You've seen the money being lost. You've seen issues throughout with downtime such as Solana. We've seen all these things happen with other innovative layer 1s. So let's try to understand and compartmentalize what Bitcoin is and not try to misconstrue that Bitcoin is trying to be a competitor to Ethereum or Cardano. That's not what it is.
No one cares about it anymore. So that's the danger there, is that they don't lose the wallet share and the amount of people that hold it, but they lose the attention, they lose the innovation, and over time the industry grows in a different direction, and then you wake up and 98% of the stuff you do is outside of Bitcoin. And you start asking yourself, why do I really care about that? And it just becomes another asset, and then the hash rate falls, and it kind of dies a slow heat death in a certain respect. So
a slow heat death. See, again, I just don't think he understands. People don't hold Bitcoin because they think it's going to launch an amazing dApp and have crazy innovation on it. I don't think that's why people hold Bitcoin. People hold Bitcoin fundamentally as a vote against fiat currency. And I think it's silly to try to misconstrue that when we know that, I think, what is it, like 3 to 5% of the global population hold any crypto. And so if we want to focus as the gateway to bringing people onto crypto, how do you think the majority of people come into crypto? Do they come into crypto buying Cardano? No, they don't. Right? The vast majority of people come into crypto through two methods, in fact. One through Bitcoin, or two via actually meme coins, interestingly enough. Right? So to try to say that people are buying Bitcoin for the reason that they would buy Ethereum or they would buy Cardano is not right. People hold Bitcoin because they get fed up of their fiat currency, they get fed up of inflation, they get fed up of being, sanctioned, or their money being frozen in a bank account, or their bank asking too many questions. And they fundamentally understand that their money is not theirs when it's in fiat currency. So to try and mix it and to say that no, they need all this innovation, they need to be able to, have a fast growth curve, I think you're misunderstanding the point of what Bitcoin is.
We tried real hard to convince people to innovate. Like, we wrote NEPA POWs, the non-interactive proofs of proof of work, which actually is a great sidechains primitive for Bitcoin. We developed a protocol for proof of useful work to show how to upgrade and do useful things with proof of work. Log space mining allows you to mine without having a full node. Obviously, the extended UTXO model is how you would do smart contracts with Bitcoin. So if you look at the design of Cardano, we took a lot of the good ideas from 2011, 2012, like how to do smart contracts with Bitcoin, how to issue assets, color coins, for example, and we put them in there. And that's a great case study on how Bitcoin could create a roadmap where it could be competitive with Ethereum or other things. It's their decision as an ecosystem to go down that road, and I don't think the culture is going to let them do that.
It's interesting that the very thing that he's complaining about is actually Bitcoin's strength. And I think this is why, I'm by no means am I a Bitcoin maximalist, right? Everybody knows I have a portfolio of various different altcoins, including Cardano. But it's that very point that is the key differentiator for Bitcoin, in that there is no figurehead, there is no leader. If something was, hopefully nothing happens to it, but if something was to happen to Charles Hoskinson, what do you think happens to the price of Cardano overnight? What happens to it? What happens in the 6 years of him working on this proof of stake model and the consensus mechanism and Ouroboros and everything else, the UTXO models that he's speaking about? What do you actually think happens to Cardano as an ecosystem? It takes a major, major blow. And the genius, therefore, of what Satoshi did, whoever Satoshi is, and I've done a video on this which you guys can go watch. I'll link it up for you guys. And so the genius of what Satoshi actually did was to do the thing that didn't give him any credit, which was not expose who he is. And so fundamentally, all these technologies like Ethereum with Vitalik and Cardano with Charles Hoskinson, the biggest risk they have is them themselves, the centralized nature of them themselves, which causes the problem. And so you can sit there and say, yeah, Bitcoin doesn't have innovation, Bitcoin doesn't have this, Bitcoin doesn't have that. The biggest risk to Bitcoin right now is a supercomputer being invented and hacking the Bitcoin network, which would, by the way, cause many more problems for the globe in its entirety, right? What would happen to all our banking infrastructure? What would happen to all the government computers and military and healthcare systems and databases and all these things, right? We'd have bigger problems than Bitcoin at that point if a supercomputer was created that could hack the Bitcoin code. But for these projects, these other projects like Ethereum, like Cardano, for Solana, for all these projects, there's really real tangible risk day to day that they have to navigate. So very disappointed to kind of see this message being shared by Charles Hoskinson to kind of go against an ally shows that you're missing the bigger picture. Look, layer ones can compete, right? Cryptos can compete with other cryptos, but for you to go and attack Bitcoin as a concept when you are riding on the very shoulders that Bitcoin grew, you're standing on them giants, right? To even have a platform. Cardano would have no platform if it was not for Bitcoin. Ethereum would have no platform if it wasn't for the innovation that is Bitcoin. For you to then say, oh, it's just going to grind a slow heat death, I mean, it's not appropriate, particularly when, you know, this is what particularly didn't resonate with me today, was that at the same time you're getting the US Congress pass these bills, and we know what Gary Gensler is trying to do against crypto in the SEC. We know they're trying to really put a choke point on crypto. For you to come out and, you know, provide more animosity from within, really no need, Charles. Really no need.